my question to you was, normally, students, what they do is they focus on the GMAT part and then put all their research, on what the kind of schools they want to apply to for later. In your case, it was slightly different because you already were very clear that these are the kind of programs you want to apply to, and you actually reverse engineered, what was required, and then planned what are the kind of tests you need to apply to and how to go about it. Do you think it was also an advantage in this case because it kept you on focus on what you exactly want and how you should go about it?
Yeah, so the advantage is that I had my focus on exactly what I wanted. However, I did change my schools later. So I started with a list of schools because I thought that I will get somewhere close to 720, 710 GMAT score, and I made a list of schools according to that. And as I progressed with my, as my goal became clearer, and with my score that I had, I shifted my requirements a little. And so earlier, before the GMAT, the list of schools that I had was majorly in Europe, because focus on sustainability, the Paris Agreement. So most of the schools there had a very strong focus on sustainability. And post my GMAT, I started exploring other options, and then I realized that in schools like MIT, NYU, and Cornell, they also have a very strong focus on sustainability. And probably going to the US, I will have a different career trajectory than in Europe. So it's not as if the college list was constant, and I just had started the preparation way before. I made a list of colleges, but it does definitely change as you go along.
Got it. In terms of the application process, right now, what do you think are the key things an applicant should keep in mind when they actually start writing their essays, and some do's and don'ts around it? What do you think is very, very important when it comes to the application process?
So first and foremost, you should be very honest with yourself and every application that you are submitting. During the entire process, the one thing that helped me was it is a very reflective process, and you get to know a lot about yourself. You get that time, you focus a lot of resources and time on yourself and wonder what exactly is your goal, what you need out of this whole process. And that portion takes a lot of time. Many candidates, I'm just assuming that a lot of candidates, they say that we can write our applications in some 2 to 4 months. It took me a lot more than that. It took me around 4 months to conceptualize exactly what I am going to write about, what I am all about, and what is my message, what is my mission, what am I going to do for the rest of my career. So those things are very important, and once you figure those things out, writing the essay will not take much time. So the goals essay and the what is your ambition about why MBA, and what have you done until now, how are you going to take it further. So these basic questions, but the most important questions are sorted, and now you only have to pen it down. So I took around 4 months to think about myself. You can't put a time limit on that. The time that it takes, it has to take that much time. It's like you can't put it on a deadline. So for example, I thought I'll think about what I'll write in some 15 days, and then I'll start writing, and then I'll apply in 2018 itself, round 2, but that did not happen. So I applied, I took some time, and the application writing process, once you have your story in mind, then it takes approximately 1 month for your first application.
Okay. So how much of importance does researching on school help on this particular process? Because what we've also seen is a lot of people just focus only on the questions and introspecting on what they have to write in the question, but they don't really connect it to the school they are applying to. So what is the kind of process you followed, and how did you go about that part of it?
Okay, so firstly, there is a lot of advice on the internet on it, but I don't think people take it seriously. You are supposed to, while researching for the schools, you are supposed to reach out to students and alumni and other people who have been in your shoes, and the student body, the admissions office. You are supposed to reach out to as many people as you can and understand the culture there, the mission that school propagates, and how it aligns with your goals. So Cracked Verbal helped me in that aspect as well. My consultant, she told me to talk to as many people as possible, and you will rule out a lot of colleges. Even if they are good on paper, you will talk to people, understand the culture, and then you'll just tick them off, because there is a particular growth that you have, and that might not align well with that particular school's ideology of how to go further.
Right. So were you very...
And
sorry, go ahead.
No.
Sorry, go ahead. So you mentioned that first you had some European schools in mind, and then you moved to schools in US. So then did you not apply to any European school? What was your thought process on that?
I have still applied to European schools. So earlier I was planning to apply to 5 schools, all European. And post the GMAT, when I did my entire research, and till date, I have applied to 3 schools in the US and 2 in Europe.
Okay, got it. So from the time you applied to the first interview call, how much time did it take, and how was the process?
Yeah, so the time between the deadline and the interview invite is somewhere between 1.5 months. So I applied to 3 colleges in round 1 and 2 colleges in round 2. I diversified it so that you don't have all your eggs in one basket, all your hopes pinned in that one particular deadline. So if there are certain colleges in round 1, you can actually focus on other things in round 2. And you can also use the lessons learned in round 1 for round 2, rather than wait for next year to apply those learnings. Okay. Once you apply, keep approximately 3 weeks to fill the form. That's my suggestion to every candidate, every future candidate, that you should not fill the form in the last minute. Don't assume that all the essays are mentioned in the website. Some colleges have some essays in the form as part of the form, in very short 100-word essay or 50-word essay. So those are still counted as essays when you are being analyzed by the college.
Right. So tell me a little bit more about the interview process. How did it go, and was it different in each school? So how was that?
Yeah. So every college has its own interview process. I researched a bit about how every interview goes. For Cornell, I prepared with Mr. Arun, and he gave me a few pointers as in how to develop a rapport with your interviewer, and how to just focus on what you want to convey. So those aspects were very helpful for the interview. I think one very important suggestion is that you are not just supposed to answer the questions in the interview. You are supposed to develop a rapport with the interviewer. that helps. It should be a more friendly talk as to individuals rather than just, question, answer, and so on.
So were these video interviews in both the schools?
No. So for the first one, it was a team-based discussion followed by a 10-minute interview, and for Cornell, I had a video interview because they only conduct video and interviews in Cornell in the US, in campus.
Oh, okay. So how long did it take for you to get a email from them for acceptance from the interview stage to the email that came?
They responded within 3 weeks of the interview, and I got an admit as well as a scholarship of around 50% of the tuition fee.
Awesome. Congratulations. Is this for the 1-year program or the 2-year program?
2-year full time, yeah.
2-year full time. Okay, awesome. So, Prerna, I also want a little bit more about the interview process. Like, what were the kind of questions asked? How long did it take? So, if you could just elaborate a little bit more on the interview process, that would be awesome too.
So the interview, majorly they ask about you, why an MBA, why at this point. Then they would also stress on why this school, why our school, why Cornell, which location. So there was this one question, where do you see your post MBA career, or where do you see your career growing for the next 10 years of your life? I was not really anticipating. You have that in mind because if I'm applying to the US, I'm basically searching for a job in the US. But they actually look for what really drew you towards applying at Cornell. So that is one thing that you need to be very well prepared with. It has to be a very tight answer about why do you want to study in that particular college. Apart from that, they asked a few questions around which resources are you focusing on, which we can help you with. For example, if you mention something that the college does not even offer, then that is a red flag for the interview. So you have to be very well prepared with what you want and what the college has to offer. And then there has to be, it has to overlap, there has to be a subset of the whole journey.
Right. So how long was the interview, like duration-wise?
Yeah, so the interview was 30 minutes long.
30 minutes. Awesome. So once you got, so in the first email of acceptance itself, you got an email with the scholarship information, or did it come later? How does that work?
The scholarship was mentioned in the email where my admit was, they mentioned that you have been admitted, congratulations, and so on. And then they had an additional paragraph where they mentioned the scholarship. Basically, that letter itself, it has both the information together. I think in order to apply for your finances or something, there has the whole information, as in how much money you need. Those, I think for that purpose, they don't give separate the whole thing, the data separately. They have to together.
Got it. So now that you have an admit and you have time, right? So you have time till September, I guess, or August. When does the course start?
So actually, the course starts on 2nd of August, but there is a pre-course orientation for international students that starts in July. So there isn't much time, to be frank. September, which course starts in September. I had an idea that maybe all courses start in September, but it's actually earlier than that.
Right. So is there anything that you're planning right now in terms of what you have to do in the next couple of months, apart from obviously managing your finances and visa?
the college itself, we have a list of action items right now. So we have to figure out ways to finance the MBA, and there are certain new student forms to fill, and apart from that, there is some academic courses to complete before we join the course. One of them is your leadership assessment, and one of them is a course on elements of microeconomics, elements of finance and accounting. So basically, there are certain 101 that you need to complete before you join the course, so that you are at the same level with other candidates in the same field.
Right. Cool. So, thank you so much, Prerna. Just one, last question I want to ask you is, what are, your thoughts on what you would tell, fellow aspirants who are looking at applying for the 2021 intake? How should they plan their GMAT? When should they plan their MBA strategy? Start writing their essays. In a whole, what is your last thoughts on how they should plan it? And, what are the don'ts on what they should not do at all?
Yeah. So my suggestion is that first and foremost, everybody should have their own. Everybody has their own story. So you should have your own goals written down very clearly. It's very imperative that you don't apply to Harvard because Harvard is number 1 or number 3 or whatever. You should apply because it will take you where you want to go. So you need to be very clear about what you want out of the whole journey, because it takes a lot of investment mentally and monetarily, and you put a lot of time in this. The course itself is 2 years or 1 year sometimes, but you also put in around 1.5 years before the course, and that is a big. You can use this time to get ahead in your career without an MBA instead. So be very clear about what you want. Once you are through that stage, then every other step will become very easy. Giving the GMAT, and so the duration of study for the GMAT differs for every candidate, but most people that I talked to who were in the same boat as me when we were writing our applications, I felt that people were more unprepared while they were writing their goals essay. You have to distinguish yourself from the rest of the candidates. For me, that was not really a problem because, like you said, many architects don't go for an MBA. But there are other kids, for example, other engineers. So you need to have a very unique story about yourself, and that's where the mission, the drive comes from. Why do you do what you want to do? You can't just say that everybody is doing it and we want to just get ahead in our career just like everyone else. So you have to have a very strong cause when you're applying for something.
Right. And obviously, people have to be researched very well, and at the same time, make sure you do things in advance, right? And not wait for the last moment.
Yeah, but majorly, the whole process should start with a goal in mind. A goal of doing an MBA, just doing an MBA is not a good enough reason to do an MBA, because it requires a lot of investment. You can't just go ahead with this just with an initial thought of just doing an MBA. You need to have a very strong story in mind. Story in the sense you have to have your inspiration and what is your mission. If all those things are in line, then your research is very easy. So in that organized way is going to help you in the longer run when you're writing all your essays. The mission will speak for itself in your essays.
Right. Thanks. Thank you so much, Prerna. So now that everything is set, is Cornell helping you with some group of people who've got admits, and you already started talking to them and figuring things out of how you stay and where you'll stay and all that also?
Yeah, so Cornell has a Slack channel where there are different groups. People are introducing themselves in different groups, and then you are finding your roommate, and you have to figure out where to live. So all those things are happening in that particular channel.
Cool. So thank you so much, Prerna. Thank you for that time. I really appreciate that you given this time to to take this interview. All the best. Wish you great luck.